everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and today, if you've been following my videos the last couple days, or last week, you'll know that I am doing, in honor of the Fate of the Furious, having its second week in a row at #1. All of the Fast and Furious movies. I did 1, 2, and 3 last week, and today I am, well not today, but this week I am finishing up the franchise with Fast and Furious, with Fast 5, with Fast and Furious 6, with Furious 7, and of course Fate of the Furious, all this week, so you're welcome. Okay, so today's episode is Fast and Furious. That is number 4 in case you cannot keep up with all of the names, especially when they don't have a number in the title. Fast and Furious is Justin Lin's second outing in this Fast and Furious franchise. He is the director of this movie. He just got off of Tokyo Drift, and it is, it's probably the movie that I feel like is the most different from everybody or all of the other films because there's not as much humor in this one. It's a bit more serious. It takes itself a little bit more seriously. And I can forgive this movie for that, because the one thing about the Fast and Furious franchise that people love and adore is the fact that they don't take themselves too seriously, and they're fun, and they're not necessarily like the greatest movies ever, but they're exciting and fun to watch, you know? You go into the theater to have a laugh and like see big explosions and stupid car tricks. And in this movie, it's definitely setting the mold for the next couple movies in the sense that they take this sort of small little like car heist movie and they involve the FBI more in it, and it just sets the stone for what you see in Fast 5 and all of these other films, to where now it's like they are working kind of with the government all the time and they're not really like criminals anymore, which is really what they were. This is the movie that brought Paul Walker back from his one movie hiatus. It gave Vin Diesel a bigger role now that he was out of the XXX stuff. It brought Jordana Brewster back. Michelle Rodriguez as Letty was in this movie, and she had a pretty big part where she did die. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but you know, that's a given, right? That's a given that these are all going to be spoilers, right? One thing I really like about this movie is the beginning. That first part of it where you see Han pop up and you see that relationship that Han had with Dominic Toretto. It was really fun because obviously it was hinted at the very end of Tokyo Drift after Han is dead, and Justin Lin, of course, liked him so much and he was such a popular character in that movie that they decided to bend time and space and make this movie before the events of Tokyo Drift. So you see that obviously Dom and Letty have become way, 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 way closer than they were in the first movie, because the first movie didn't really necessarily delve into their relationship at all. It didn't feel that serious. Whereas now it felt like a real thing, like they really were in love, which is a very big thing in all of these movies, is the whole Letty and Dom thing. And I like the fact that Dom decides to sort of skip out on his whole crew to make sure that they're safe, and he is the one that they're really after, you know. And I think that really sets the pace for what Letty is doing with the FBI. She dies in this movie. Dom gets the intel for that. It's found out later in the movie, after kind of like halfway through-ish, towards the end of the halfway point. It's found out that Letty's actually been working with the FBI with Brian O'Connor. And that right there is another scene that I really love, is the scene where Dom finds out that Letty was working with Brian, and Brian and Mia were having that little moment, and I loved the rage in that film, or in that moment. It was really well done, I thought. The overall plot of this movie, you know, I never truly got into. I was never really excited with this whole sort of like these races that you had to go into to be this guy's team of people to smuggle equipment or drugs or money across the border. Wasn't necessarily that interesting to me. I do like Braga as a villain. I like that they brought him back in a later movie as well. I think that was really fun. I just didn't necessarily, the whole actual plot and mission of it was not the greatest for me. And maybe that's because this was a less fun film, more serious, and I think that's incredibly important that this is a more serious film, because this is the film where Brian gets back into the family. And it's not going to be lighthearted because of what happened in the first movie. and all of that stuff. So I agree with the tone of this movie, and I would say this is the first Fast and Furious movie that's actually good. It's not great, it's not bad, it's good. Solid movie. I enjoyed it. I also think it's important to note that this is the first time we see Gal Gadot's Giselle in these movies, and I love Gal Gadot. She's going to be our future Wonder Woman. I'm very excited to see that movie. I think it's going to be the best of the DC so far. Please, I'm praying that it is. Patty Jenkins, don't disappoint me. And the Han and Giselle relationships in the next couple of movies are very fun for me. I like those, especially when you put Han, my favorite character, with this like Amazonian queen. It's really fun. I like, you know, she had a very small part. This was one of her first roles, and I think she did a pretty good job. Okay, that is my review of Fast and the Furious. That is the number 4 movie in this franchise. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below. What were your thoughts on this movie? Was this the turning point in the whole franchise for you? Let me know. Also, subscribe so that way you don't miss any of my content. I upload Monday through Friday videos on reviews of stuff that is usually really old, so it really does not matter. Hence the name. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow with Fast 5. Bye!